So, what are you afraid of? These are dark times. There's a lot of people that are fearful, but First John, the 4th chapter, speaks into that. And there's a little thing that I discovered there in the Greek text that I want to share with you here today. But before I do, I want to encourage you to go ahead and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. That helps this video get some traction on YouTube. And so also I want to share with you down below in the descriptions, yesterday when I was scrolling through Amazon, there's a real limited time offer on some Kindle books if you're interested in exegesis and things surrounding the text. I'm not endorsing these books necessarily, saying that I agree with everything that's in them, but there are some really great offers on Amazon right now. If you're watching this 3, 4, 5, 7 days later, they might not be available anymore, but go ahead and check those out in the description below. What are you afraid of? And when I was reading through 1 John, the 4th chapter, I saw something there that I'd never really seen before. And I want to display that text for you right now. And you can see there how it reads there in the Greek, and let's look at an English translation right down below it here. So he talks about there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. And if you're reading, let's say, like the King James Version, it'll say, because fear hath torment. But let's take a look at that Greek word. And what I found that was really interesting about that particular Greek word is that I believe it's used only in one other place. And in that other place it's used, it's in Matthew chapter 25, I believe. I'll display that scripture right there. And it's actually used in reference to eternal, it'll say eternal punishment or torment, depending, what translation you're using there. But what I thought was interesting is that when I was reading this through in Greek, and I read that word, and I wanted to see how it was used elsewhere, that fear can so dominate our lives. We can be so taken in by fear that it can have a punishment. And this word, this Greek word that's used, is such a strong word that Jesus could use it in reference to final judgment. And there's a lot of people nowadays that are living in horrible fear. And I did a video a couple weeks ago. There was another pandemic that had hit the world back in Spurgeon's day. And if you want to check that video out, I'll link to it right there. But Spurgeon had to deal with that. And he had to face, the fear that was gripping his congregation at that time. And we as Christians are coming up against a very difficult time. And we as Christians should have hope and courage in the face of this great trial that's coming on the earth. Not only is the virus that's spreading throughout the world right now affecting people's lives, there's people that are dying now by the thousands. It's also affecting people's livelihoods. It's destroying the economy. But as Christians, we have a God who's still on the throne. And John says that perfect love casts out fear. And there's some people now, and maybe even some people that are going to watch this video, who are living in fear. Maybe their lives haven't been directly impacted yet by the virus. Maybe everything, their economic situation's still good, their health is still good, and yet they're still being tormented, they're still being punished by fear, because fear has its own punishment with it. But as Christians, John says that he that loveth, when you love the way you're supposed to love, you love God the way you're supposed to be loved, and you recognize his love for you, says that perfect love casts out fear. So the deep antidote for fear, for this kind of punishment that comes with fear. The deep antidote for it is really, according to the Apostle John, it's love. And in John's day, Christians were up against some major problems as well. They were coming up against hard times and difficult times. So hardship was a reality in the ancient world. They knew what it was like. They knew what it was like to have plagues. They knew what it was like to have economic disaster. And really, if we had to live the way that people in the first century lived, in the best of times, we would think that was a disaster. But I want to offer hope and encouragement to those that are going through hard times. I know these struggles are hitting some people really, really hard. And so I want to encourage you that as hard as the things on the outside can be, God can give you a peace on the inside, and that perfect love can cast out fear, and it can remove the punishment, the torment of fear. And God can give you a peace that passes understanding in the midst of these hard times. So guys, thanks for watching. Again, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I appreciate you watching.